Yo, what's good, everyone? Hope you're doing well. Uh, Good morning. So, what I'm gonna do in this video is run through quickly EU from this morning, bit of price action, and talk on inducement. But really, I want to talk on 15-minute POIs as opposed to when we look for our hourly areas or our hourly levels. So, this is something that I've been incorporating, and it's something I'll go into a lot of detail in on the 2.0 new content that's coming out. It's really the same thing, but we're really looking, and you could say it's more of an aggressive style as opposed to looking at the hourly levels. But what we're really doing is identifying supply and demand levels, and ideally looking for inducement, and then price delivery coming into these 15-minute supply and demand levels, which can be continuation or reversal. We're really looking for momentum to kick into the market that creates these levels, and price delivery, and then mitigation, and then we can look for our entries on price delivery. And I think there's a really good example this morning on EU. Now, the 15-minute, if you go and back test it, you'll see the 15-minute is very well respected in terms of supply and demand, and it really holds a lot of weight, and you can get a lot of entries pretty much daily. Okay, so if you want to be in trades more, then if you're waiting for hourly areas, then you're not going to be getting trades every single day, as I'm sure you know, but you can apply the exact same concepts to the 15-minute. It's a great time frame to look at and really get involved in some great trades. Okay, so you see I've marked this little diagram here. So firstly, I want to talk on inducement and how I view it. Okay, so let me just turn this music down. Okay, so what is inducement? Well, and also these are my opinions. You can have a different opinion, but whatever works for you is what you need to go with. So to me, this is the following. So traders or people need a good reason to get involved in the market. They need the market to do something for them, whether that be, price forming a bull flag, bear flag, an ascending channel, I don't know, a retracement candle. That they're waiting for the market to do things in order for them to execute. So knowing that, liquidity, as we know, needs to be manufactured or generated in order for the markets to function and to move properly. Okay, we all know that. So the markets will induce people in, so it will give them confluence to get involved in trades, which is, what's that doing? So that's basically building liquidity. It's getting people involved. So what's likely going to happen? Well, we're going to induce people in and then sweep them out. Okay, so we sweep liquidity in terms of their stop losses or buy sell stops, whatever it may be, trailing stop loss, whatever, and then we sweep liquidity, so that then gives us fuel needed for price to actually commit. So if we look at this example, very clean, this is just an example of inducement from people buying. So we have price pushing down, low formed, pull back, lower low, lower high. We then get an expansion out, which can be classed as, if we're in a reversal trade, this can be a change of character, or if we're continuing, this can be a break of structure. But if we look at this, what do we have? Well, we have supply that fails. What does that do? We get a flip zone. Demand forms. Once we get a break of structure, change of character, demand forms, supply fails, flip. Okay, this is what I'm always trading all the time, flips. Okay, we get a flip. We're now looking for buyers. Price pulls back, mitigates, EQ of this impulsive move. Pull off. Okay, so we probably had something in here, maybe an imbalance, or price pulled back, pushed off again. Bit of inducement reaction. Okay, this induces people into the move, thinking, oh, is it going to go now? And then we come down. People are still looking to get involved. Whether they look at this as a double bottom reaction. They're looking to get involved on a nice reaction from there. What does that do? We know that as liquidity and inducement. Okay, price comes in, sweeps their stop losses, sweeps it, and it induces them in, sweeps them out, mitigates the true move, and then they're off and running. Okay, so this is a clear example of inducement, and this is my views on it. Okay, so with that being said, we can get into the charts. This is the hourly, but you know, we're very bullish going up, that's clear, but we can't keep going up forever. Price needs to come back to pull back, to mitigate, to breathe. Okay, so the 15-minute time frame. Okay, you can see what I've marked on. So what am I seeing here? Well, what I saw previously was price putting in these high highs, higher lows. We then had this as a high, and we have an area here, a low. Okay, so we have a clear pullback, price put in a new high, and then we start seeing price break. Okay, and we also have a breach of this swing point. But why didn't I get involved in that trade? Well, it didn't break with momentum, and that's one thing that I always look for is momentum. Okay, but you can see we do violate, and this would be what I class as, so this move here, that's what I would class as a change of character, because price is bullish. Okay, and this is just really a 15-minute change of character, and that could have pushed higher if it, you know, it could have reacted off of that and then pushed higher. But then what did we get next? Momentum. Okay, so you can see I've marked it on. Okay, my mic turned off, but what I was saying is we got this as a double confluence. Okay, and this is what I would class as a breaker structure. Okay, and what can you also notice? Well, we have momentum. That's very clear momentum. That's pushed down. So we have a change of character, a pullback, mitigating anything inside that, or the last buy to sell. Then we push down momentously. This is what I look for. Okay, and that's a clear supply zone. Now obviously the last buy candle is that huge candle, but we're not going to really take this whole range. We can do and then look for the EQ, but for me I'd rather refine it to that candle there, because you can even use this candle as well, because the momentum that broke structure kicked in on the next candle. Okay, price comes in to mitigate, but where do we have inducement? We have equal highs here. Now it's not perfect equal highs, but we have this move that broke structure, retrace. Okay, we put in a new low, we have that as a high, which is also an inside bar. And then we have another high, and then we have equal highs. Okay, so this is a level of inducement for me. People are looking to get short from here, in my opinion. Okay, from here, and potentially when it comes up to revisit here as well. So what's price going to do? It's likely going to come into the move that caused the structure break and momentum to kick in, mitigate. Now although it come in barely, it didn't come into the EQ, but it doesn't need to come into the EQ. We can get a reaction from price coming in by 0.01 pipette or whatever it's called. Okay, we can still trade that because this can go from here, as you can see. So what we have here is we've built a narrative. We know where we are on the higher time frames, and the 15-minute. So the hourly we know is likely needing to pull back because we've seen bullish high highs come into place. Price can't continue in that manner forever. So 15-minute change of character, pullback, mitigation, breaker structure, confirmation, clear supply, momentum, inducement, liquidity at these lows. So these would be equal lows for me. It's not perfect, and you could also argue that it's been swept already from these equal lows that was set here, but that's not really a clean out for me. So I would still be looking for that too. And I did post this in when price was up here into Discord, and I'm looking for this low, which I believe is the hourly low. Yeah, so this as an area where we can look for longs dependent on price delivery. Now, why would I look for longs from there? Well, pretty clear. But if you're new, we have a high, high. It's going to work. High, 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 low. That's all buying pressure in there. Okay, and there's no pullback. We have some wicks, which is the 15-minute change of character, but the swing points is there and there. Okay, so that's the move that broke structure. That's the move that caused the high high. Demand is clear. Okay, consolidation range, expansion, high 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 low. Demand, we want to see price delivery, and then we can anticipate what the next moves are based on the lower time frames. Okay, so that hasn't got to hold. We can come into areas here, but that's why we use the lower time frames for our confluence. Okay, so back to the 15. Okay, and then I want to get into this entry because I am involved in the trade, so I want to get into it. So we come in. When we come into here, whether that's just barely tapping in or the EQ, I'm looking on the 1 minute time frame. Okay, so we know we've induced people, we've swept liquidity, we've got liquidity to target. We can then go to a 1 minute. Okay, and you can see this is the 15-minute supply, and we take that high. This move is bullish. We're putting in higher highs, higher lows, but it's really about what happens next. And remember, we trade in structure. People love to, you know, be saying smart money concepts and this and that, but we're trading market structure, supply and demand. That's the main mover of the markets, and that's what we want to be trading. Okay, so we tap in, and you can see, look, straight away, that again would be a change of character for me, because we have this as a clear level. Okay, and I think I've got it on here. Okay, I haven't, so change character. Because we have a high, a low. This is bullish, so this is really a reversal on this time frame. We come in, and again, this could be just a sweep of or a mitigation, and then a sweep of that low before continuing up. So really, although I would look for trades, I did eye this up. That's a lie, I wasn't actually awake at this time, but I saw this when I woke up. We pushed down, and I was looking to see where's price really, when we got this change of character, what has really caused it? That candle, or is it this? So I was looking at that little range, but then as I woke up at 6:30, you can see price continued down, and I didn't actually get on the charts for this move here. For this move here. So I just got in time for this trade. So I saw this as a range, momentum. So I was looking to get involved in that, because what we have here is one push down, change of character, pull back, break of structure. So that for me is double confluence. Okay, and then you can look for trades in there. But then what I saw was, again, we had this move. I wasn't on the charts when this pushed down. I got to the charts around 7:15, just before price actually come in. Okay, so what we have is price giving a clear reaction from this 15-minute area. Okay, clear reaction, and then we're starting to break structure, bearish. Okay, and we have this level of demand. These levels are important, but you don't really want to be looking to buy at these areas, because we're bearish, and the higher time frames up from here, they're showing signs of bearish pressure, because we're at supply, and these areas don't need to hold. We will always see a reaction from these minor demand zones, but what I'm really looking for is a flip. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, we have this area of demand. You can see this candle actually fouled demand. It didn't foul the actual low, but where momentum kicked in, that candle, we did foul. And then we have the last buy before that sell, and that's where I got involved in the trade. Now, why would I not get involved in that move there? Well, as I always say, momentum. I always want to see momentum on my areas, otherwise I'm not getting involved in the trade. Okay, so last buy to sell. Okay, return to zone. Last buy, momentum. We don't get filled there, we get filled here. Okay, so it's actually there. 2 pip stop. 2 pip stop, which is, I could use 1.5, but I'm giving it a bit of leeway just for the spread. Okay, so 2 pips, and I did think price could come up to here as well. So the full process is this. So if I took this loss here, I would still look at this trade. Okay, so when we have this, I would look at the overall range, so the high, and really where the momentum, before the momentum kicked in. Okay, so that high and then the candle before, just the break. So that's where I would be looking. If I got taken out of this trade, I'll be looking at that there. Okay, and I'm happy taking 2 losses, but not 3. So I'll take 2 trades at an area, but I won't take 3, because 2% is really it's nothing, because we can obviously the reward is worth it, because if we just zoom out to the hourly, we have nearly 20% to the low, and this could continue. Okay, but getting back into the 1 minute, I do have my stops at this recent high, and as you know, I'd never partial. You see a lot of people on Instagram with their 1 to 50 or 1 to 100, but they've partialed at a 1 to 5, and I don't really understand it, because if you're claiming that you had a 1 to 150, if you haven't made 150%, then that's not a 1 to 150. So that don't really make sense to me. But anyway, I'm in this trade and I'm managing at these structure points. There's a lot of opportunity to get involved in these continuations if they meet your plan. Really, when we start seeing bearish order flow and momentum kick in, you can really scale in loads of times. Even there, you wouldn't have been filled, but you know, that would be an area where I would look for, because momentum kicked in. It didn't really break structure, it really started from up there. So you know, it depends on your plan, and we want to just wait for the lower time frames to really show confluence and trade the momentum. Okay, so this 15-minute POI refinement is going to be heavily worked on or taught in the Discord community, because I think you'll take a lot of value from it. And yeah, that's going to do it for the video. Any questions you have, let me know, and yeah, I hope you have a good trading day.